Blue Beetle is the name of three different fictional superheroes who have appeared in comic books published by DC Comics. The first Blue Beetle was created by Charles Nicholas Wojciechowski and Will Eisner, and made his first appearance in Mystery Men Comics #1 in 1939. The second Blue Beetle, Ted Kord, was created by Steve Ditko and made his first appearance in Captain Atom #83 in 1966. The third and current Blue Beetle, Jamie Reyes, was created by Keith Giffen, John Rogers, and Cully Hamner and made his first appearance in Infinite Crisis #3 in 2006. The original Blue Beetle was a police officer named Dan Garrett who gained superhuman strength and agility from a mysterious blue scarab that he discovered on an archaeological dig. He used his newfound powers to fight crime and became one of the earliest and most popular superheroes of the golden age of comics. However, his popularity waned in the 1950s, and the character was eventually retired. The second Blue Beetle, Ted Kord, was a genius inventor who became a superhero after the death of his mentor and predecessor, Dan Garrett. Ted Kord was not blessed with superhuman powers, but he was a skilled hand-to-hand combatant and a master of various forms of technology, including gadgets and weapons. He became a member of the Justice League of America and fought alongside some of the most famous superheroes of the DC Universe, including Batman and Superman. The third Blue Beetle, Jamie Reyes, is a teenage superhero who discovered the blue scarab that had belonged to Dan Garrett and Ted Kord. The scarab attached itself to Jamie's spine, giving him the power to create a suit of armor that enhances his strength, agility, and durability. The scarab also gives him the ability to fly, and to fire energy blasts. Jamie is an inexperienced hero, but he has already faced some of the deadliest villains in the DC Universe, including the villainous group known as the Reach. One of Blue Beetle's greatest strengths is his versatility. Each version of the character has had unique abilities and skills that have made him a formidable hero in his own right. The original Blue Beetle was a skilled fighter who was also gifted with superhuman strength and agility. Ted Kord was a brilliant inventor who was able to create a wide range of gadgets and weapons that he used to fight crime. Jamie Reyes has the power to create a suit of armor that enhances his physical abilities and gives him a range of offensive and defensive capabilities. Blue Beetle has faced many foes over the years, including the villainous group known as the Reach. The Reach is a race of alien conquerors who are obsessed with technological superiority. They view Jamie Reyes and the Blue Scarab as a threat to their plans for domination and have repeatedly attempted to destroy him. Other notable foes include the mad scientist, Dr. Alchemy, and the villainous team known as the Injustice League. Despite the various incarnations of Blue Beetle and their unique strengths and challenges, the character has become a legend in the DC Universe. Blue Beetle is known for his courage, his determination, and his unwavering commitment to justice. He has inspired generations of superheroes and has become a beloved figure among fans of the genre. The various incarnations of Blue Beetle have had different strengths and abilities, but here are some of the common strengths associated with the character. Superhuman strength and agility. The original Blue Beetle, Dan Garrett, gained superhuman strength and agility from the blue scarab that he discovered. This allowed him to lift heavy objects and move quickly and easily. Intelligence and ingenuity. The second Blue Beetle, Ted Kord, was a genius inventor and was able to create a wide range of gadgets and weapons to aid him in his superhero activities. Flight. Jamie Reyes, the current Blue Beetle, is able to fly thanks to the blue scarab that has bonded with him. Energy blasts. Jamie Reyes is also able to fire energy blasts from the blue scarab, which can be used both offensively and defensively. Enhanced durability. All three Blue Beetles have had some degree of enhanced durability thanks to their respective blue scarabs, which can protect them from harm and injury. Martial arts skills. Both Dan Garrett and Ted Kord were skilled fighters who had training in various forms of martial arts. They were able to use this skill to fight and subdue their foes. Overall, Blue Beetle's strengths have varied depending on the incarnation of the character, but they all share a commitment to justice and a desire to use their abilities to protect the innocent and fight evil. Blue Beetle and Cronus the Time Thief have faced off against each other several times in the DC Comics universe. Cronus, also known as David Clinton, is a supervillain who possesses a time-traveling suit that allows him to manipulate time and space. Here's how the fight between Blue Beetle and Cronus might play out. At the start of the fight, Cronus would likely use his time-manipulating abilities to try to gain the upper hand. He might try to slow down time to make it harder for Blue Beetle to react or dodge attacks. Alternatively, he might try to teleport around the battlefield or create time portals to confuse Blue Beetle. However, Blue Beetle's suit of armor, which is powered by the Blue Scarab, gives him enhanced physical abilities and the ability to create energy blasts. He would likely use his agility and strength to dodge Cronus attacks and counter with energy blasts from the Blue Scarab. Cronus might also try to use his time suit to create clones of himself or to summon weapons from the future to use against Blue Beetle. However, Blue Beetle's combat experience and intelligence would give him an edge in this fight. He might try to outmaneuver Cronus or use his own gadgets and weapons to neutralize the villain's attacks. Ultimately, the outcome of the fight would depend on the specific circumstances and the abilities of each character. However, Blue Beetle's superhuman strength and agility, combined with his energy blasts and combat skills, would make him a formidable opponent for Cronus the Time Thief. Blue Beetle continues to be a popular character in modern comic culture, with several different versions of the character appearing in various comic book series and media adaptations. Here are some examples of Blue Beetle's presence in modern comic culture. Jamie Reyes. The most recent incarnation of Blue Beetle is Jamie Reyes, a teenager from El Paso, Texas who discovers a blue scarab that bonds with him and gives him superhuman abilities. Jamie has been featured in several comic book series, including his own ongoing series, and has also appeared in animated adaptations like Young Justice and Batman, The Brave and the Bold. Ted Kord. Although he was killed off in the comics in the 2000s, Ted Kord remains a beloved character and has continued to make appearances in various DC Comics series. He also appeared in the Justice League Unlimited animated series and the DC Universe Online video game. Injustice. Blue Beetle appears as a playable character in the Injustice 2 video game, alongside other DC Comics superheroes and villains. His appearance in the game has helped to introduce the character to a wider audience. Popularity. Blue Beetle has a strong fan following and is often included in lists of favorite DC Comics characters. His distinctive blue and gold costume and his unique powers have made him a fan favorite among comic book readers. Overall, Blue Beetle remains an important part of modern comic culture and continues to be a popular character among fans of DC Comics. Whether it's through his appearances in comic books, animated series or video games, Blue Beetle's legacy as a superhero continues to inspire and entertain audiences today. The origin of the Blue Beetle's scarab has varied depending on the incarnation of the character. Here are the origins of the scarab for each of the three Blue Beetles. Dan Garrett. The original Blue Beetle, Dan Garrett, discovered the blue scarab while on an archaeological expedition in Egypt. The scarab was a mystical artifact that granted him superhuman abilities when he picked it up. Ted Kord. When Ted Kord became the second Blue Beetle, he acquired the scarab from Dan Garrett's former mentor, Professor Richard Conrad. Conrad had found the scarab after Garrett's death and had been studying it in secret. Kord stole the scarab from Conrad's lab after he was killed by another villain. Jamie Reyes. The current Blue Beetle, Jamie Reyes, acquired the scarab when it attached itself to him while he was walking home from a party. The scarab had been sent to Earth by the Reach, an alien race that had intended to use it as a weapon. However, the Scarab bonded with Jamie instead and granted him superhuman abilities. In all three cases, the Scarab is a powerful and mystical artifact that grants its user superhuman abilities. The specifics of how and why the Scarab came into their possession may vary, but its importance to the Blue Beetle mythology remains consistent across all three incarnations of the character.